Alright, 5.10b, we are going to go over a few more examples using elimination. So if we look at number 1, remember our first step for elimination is to make sure we have a variable with opposite coefficients. So if we have 2x as our first equation and a negative x, those are not opposite coefficients, but we have a negative 3y and a positive 3y, those are opposite, so we can add those equations together to get a new equation. When we do that, we get negative 9 plus 6 on this side, which is negative 3. Negative 3y plus 3y is 0. And negative 2x plus a negative x is just x. X plus 0 is just x, which equals negative 3. And we already have our value of x. We don't have anything to divide by this time. So our x equals a negative 3. So that means we know it's not choice A and we know it's not choice D. Now we have to figure out what y is to find the right answer. So if I take this negative 3 and I plug it back in for x, I'm going to get 2 times my x is negative 3 minus 3y equals negative 9. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 minus 3y equals negative 9. Now I want to get y by itself, so I'm going to start with what's furthest away from my y, which is that negative 6. So I need to add 6 to both sides. I'm left with a minus 3y equals negative 3. Divide both sides by negative 3, and I get y is equal to 1. Okay, so if y equals 1, that means my final answer, my solution x comma y, is going to be negative 3 comma 1, which is choice C. Alright, number 2. Use elimination to solve the system of equations. Okay, so first of all, if we look at those coefficients, we have a positive 3x and a negative 3x. Those are opposites. So we can add these together. 3x minus 3x is 0. Y plus 2y is 3y. And 10 plus a negative 16 is minus 6. 0 plus 3y is just 3y. Now I want to solve for y, so I need to divide both sides by 3. And I get y is equal to negative 2. Take that negative 2 and plug it back in for y. I get 3x plus negative 2 equals 10. I want to get rid of that negative 2 on my left side, so to do that, I need to add 2 to both sides. I'm left with 3x is equal to 12. When I divide both sides by 3, I get x is equal to 4. Now my final solution, my x comma y, is 4 comma negative 2. Alright, number 3 says that if 5x plus 3y equals 12 and 4x minus 3y equals 15, what is the value of y? Now it does not tell me which method I need to use, but if I have those coefficients with opposite values, then I know elimination is going to be my easiest choice. So if I look, I have a 5x and a 4x. Those are not opposite, but I have a positive 3y and a negative 3y. So I know if I add these two equations together, 5x plus 3y equals 12. and 4x minus 3y equals 15. My y's are going to go to 0 there, so I can get an easier equation to solve. So 5x plus 4x is 9x, 3y minus 3y is 0, and 12 plus 15 is 27. 9x plus 0 is just 9x. If I divide both sides by 9, I get x equals 3. I'm going to take that 3 and plug it back into my original equation at the top. When I do that, I get 5 times 3 plus 3y equals 12. 5 times 3 is 15. I want that y by itself. I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. I get 3y is equal to negative 3. Divide both sides by 3, and I get y equals negative 1. Okay, so if I go back and look at the question, it is asking me what is the value of y. So I have to be careful here that I'm actually answering what the question is asking, because if you just saw 3 and negative 1, you might have chosen D as your answer, but it's just asking for the value of y. And our value of y in this case is negative 1. So our answer is actually A. Okay, number 4, use the substitution method to solve the system. So we're going to go back and review our substitution method. Remember, we have a solve column and a substitution side. On the solve side, I'm going to put the equation that is already solved for a variable. So that would be x equals 3 minus 2y. That means my other equation is going to go on this side. 2x plus 4y equals 6. Now I'm going to take that solved equation, x equals 3 minus 2y, and instead of x now I'm going to write 3 minus 2y. So this gives me 2 times x, which is 3 minus 2y, and then continue on with the rest of my equation, plus 4y equals 6. I'm going to distribute. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4y, plus 4y equals 6. Negative 4y plus 4y is 0, so I just get 6 equals 6. Now, since this is true, 6 does equal 6, this means I have infinite solutions. I could put anything in those equations and it would work. If that was not true, if I had something like 6 equals 8, that's not true, then I would have no solutions. But since that is true, 6 does equal 6, I have infinite solutions as my answer.